So, according to a report in Minneapolis, there was a black man shooting at police officers, allegedly, something like that. And they were fired back. And as a result, this guy was, according to the story, was fired into this woman's apartment, her house, wherever she lived, apartment. And while she was making breakfast or something, but it could have killed the woman and her children. And so I guess the guy was shot, dead, right? Was he killed? He was killed by the officers. And right away, this radical group, Black Lives Matter, a bunch of fat black radical lesbian group, showed up. They're worse than the KKK, by the way. They just showed up because they heard a black guy was shot by the police. And it doesn't matter what the circumstances were. They just showed up with a protest. And the mother of was living in the place that was shot up, she's like, no, you guys, this guy was shooting into my home. I could have been shot. My children could have been killed. This is not George Floyd situation, which should not have happened either, the protest that broke out with that. This is not a George Floyd situation. This guy was shooting in my home. Why y'all here protesting? But the blacks just heard, it's a white too, I guess, just heard a black man was killed by the cop. The circumstances doesn't matter. The reason doesn't matter. And this woman is trying hard to convince these people, y'all, you're wrong on this one. As they are with all of them, to be honest. It's crazy, right? But they protest anyway, it seems. The lady's like, no, they were shooting in my house. My children and I were there. This is from Fox 9. A Minneapolis mother confronted protesters who gathered outside her home in support of a man shot dead by police after he reportedly fired several shots at her home. Watch this.
Now, this afternoon, just as the protest was starting to get underway against police violence, the woman who lived in the apartment directly next door to Tekle showed up. Her name is Arabella Yarborough, and she says she was cooking dinner for her 2 young children on Wednesday night when bullets began flying through her walls. She shared these photos of the aftermath of the shooting with us that show multiple bullet holes through her front door and through her bathroom wall. She confronted the family of Tekle, saying she had 5 minutes to live while Tekle had 6 hours to choose life or death.
That man was armed. George Floyd was not armed.
Family. Sundberg's parents were also at this protest. They adopted Tekle from Ethiopia when he was just 4 years old. They also expressed their remorse for everything that Yarborough experienced on the night of the standoff. They say the shooting through her apartment walls and the killing of their son are 2 separate incidents that should have been handled in very different ways.
Amazing. But that doesn't matter. Racism, police brutality, brainwashed. And the guy that was shot, it seemed he was adopted by white folks. It doesn't matter. You've been brainwashed, folks, from day one. The moment you popped out of your mama's womb, the brainwashing began. And you're not overcome because you're not pulled away to know yourself, to get to see what's going on with you. You're just overreacting. And every overreaction pull you deeper into the darkness. That's what's happening. And the government knows how to play the game on you, so they keep you overreacting. How do you think George Soros, whatever his name is, why do you think he's able to put these DAs in position that of so-called power where they make decisions to let prison out of jail? You can murder, rob, and whatever, and this stupid DA let you run the streets, and you can't and don't do anything about it because you're busy being brainwashed. Looking at Los Angeles, homelessness everywhere. And I hear that Los Angeles has Sacramento, which was a beautiful area one time, is now beating out San Francisco for homelessness. And what do every year? You vote in the same people that cause it to happen. Because when it's time to vote, they go on the media and they tell you sweet things. And you're looking at the homelessness and the murder rate and the crime and economy, and they still say, hey, vote us back in. That's the Republicans. They're doing that. And Republicans, that's the Democrat, and you vote in the same people. It's like you go into a trance while you driving over to the voting place, running over homeless people, and you still go and vote in the same people. Tell me that's not brainwashed. That's brainwashing, folks. 888-77-53773. 888-77-JESSE. We got to return to love, folks. There is no love. Love is the light, not emotional love, but it's the light that comes from God. I'll be back in a moment. Your phone calls and super chats.